5-star performance, 5-star win, 5 different goal scorers, and irrespective of what people might think about Manulla, have to say we played some fine football out there today. I know Manulla are fighting relegation. They're certainly not the strongest squad in the county, but you still cannot take away from that performance, can you?
No, not at all. I thought in the first half we played very well. It was just lacking the final ball into the striker's feet, or the shot. But to go in with a 1-0 lead and to play that well, it was a bit disappointing. But to be fair to Manulla, they defended very well. They had a set up at the back, and it worked for them in the first half. The goal might have been a bit debatable, but look, we were very happy to play so well in the first half, and we were unlucky to only go in a goal up.
And Manulla's set up before we scored in the first half. They were playing very deep. They were playing their midfield just in front of their back four. They were making it very compact, making it very hard for us to break through. And I was actually saying to myself during the stream, is actually look for a bit of penetration down the sides and get past the fullbacks and deliver some low crosses in to get a couple of finishes.
Yeah.
And that didn't quite happen. We're kind of lofting a lot of balls over the top and whipping in high crosses. But once Manulla did open up a little, it was a fabulous ball from Dylan. Took a little deflection into Dan to finish.
Yeah, I think they were set up to kind of push us out the wings and to make us crosses because they had 2 huge centre backs in to head the ball out. I thought we did do well breaking the lines, especially from Killian and Aaron into the midfield of Sean and Dia. Dia did excellent at getting the ball to half turn and playing forward. I did just think we lacked a small bit of width, just to kind of stretch them that extra bit, just to get the strikers a bit more space in the middle. But look, Manulla, they pushed us out the wings, and for the first majority of the game, it worked very well for them.
And second half, you chipped in yourself earlier on to make it 2, and then after that, the goals flowed. Great finish from Dia, then Aaron Cannon's little flick to make it 4, and a header from Nuji to make it 5. But what really struck me was the combination play. A lot of one-touch passing that was coming off, and Dia was practically unplayable at times. He was that good today.
Yeah, it's what we work on in training. It's the 10-yard passes, and out there, it finally showed for us. It might have started to happen a small bit late in the season, but look, it's happening. That's the main thing. And if you look at the goals, apart from the corner, all of them were very well. The build up to them was very good. So that's what we're working on training, and it's we're all delighted that it's now coming out on the pitch.
Another clean sheet. Gary did have to make one good save in the second half, and Manulla did have a snapshot on the near post in the first half. But credit to the defence keeping a clean sheet. I know last week we did concede 2 against Kilmarnock. Didn't exactly defend as well, but today we were pretty much comfortable and certainly bossed the game in midfield. Really, it was the midfield control really for me that kind of kept the clean sheet more than good defending.
Yeah, the midfield, even when they did lose the ball, they won it straight back. Sean and Dia and Creevy in front of the back four, they kept them from running at them throughout the whole game. There was 1 or 2 long balls that went in behind, but Gary usually cleaned them up. But I just thought, Dia and Sean passing us, and Creevy especially, they're 10-yard passes, and no one can get near them when they're doing that. So, congrats to the defence for getting another clean sheet, but I do think it was up to the midfield that really did help them out today.
And looking forward to next weekend is Ballihane at home. They're a team that we don't have a particularly good record against over the last few years, and they're on paper the hardest team we've got left in a run-in, and it's certainly a game that we need to owe a performance and a win, considering what happened in Ballihane earlier on in the season, given that their first goal at the time the ball was out for a throw for us, and it wasn't official linesmen that day, it was club officials running the line, and the flag didn't go up, play went on, they scored from it, and it was one of these things. If it was a tight league, in which of course it's not now, it could have been one of these fine margins between winning and losing a league.
Yeah, maybe the ball was out, that's what we're saying anyway, but I did think we should have reacted quicker. They reacted very quick, they got on the end of it, and, to go 1-0 up to Ballyhane, you have to hold on to it no matter what, and we didn't do it, and, we didn't really look like scoring after we scored the first one. So look, we're looking forward to next week. We're on a good run of form. Hopefully we can, keep up the combination play, and hopefully we can put 2 or 3 past them.
Let's hope. And of course, the prize for coming second in the league, I know Celtic are virtually league champions at this stage. You cannot take that away from them. Of course, there's a monetary prize for the club for coming second, but also coming second means a place in the Connacht Champions Cup for next year. So that would be a good prize to get at the end of the season, and it would be a signal of progress in a sense.
Yeah, well, we finished third last season. If we can finish second this season, it is progress. You can't take that away from us. It is progress, and it should be a good chance to be in a competition where you're getting tested every game to really see where we're at for next year anyway.
Indeed. Thank you very much.
Cheers, Kenny. Thank you.
A 5-star show this afternoon, winning 5-0, 5 different goal scores. But the highlight really had to be the combination play in midfield in an attacking sense, and that really summed up a win. Do you feel it that way?
I think they played some really good football today. I think the midfield three were particularly good. I was very, very impressed with the contribution that Sean brought today into that, and it allowed the likes of Dia and Queeving get on the ball an awful lot more and move forward and do what they can do. Evan one side was particularly good, and with Kevin the other. There was a lot of room and a lot of space in there today. They were allowed probably the opportunity to play more than we normally would, and there wasn't much pressure as they did, but to be fair to them, they were brave, they got on the ball, and I think they enjoyed their football today, and with that comes a lot of quality,
Manulla started off playing a low block, and they kept that shape until we scored the first goal. My feeling with that low block when they had the 2 banks was that we needed to get the ball wide, need to actually penetrate the full backs and deliver low balls across the goalkeeper. It only happened once, I think, when we really stretched them. Other than that, we were kind of putting in balls over the top or putting in crosses at a perfect height for their centre halves. But once we kind of got a measure when they opened up, a little pass from Dylan O'Malley took a little deflection for Dan to finish off to open the scoring. And do you think that's how we could have approached it?
Well, in the opening period of the game, we've been doing this a little bit recently. We've started off with a shape that allows us to settle into the game a little bit better, because often when you're going away from home like this and the opposition set up so defensively, when we're open in the middle, they're breaking through the middle, and it's been a problem for us. So for the last 4 or 5 games, we've set up slightly differently, just to settle into the game, let the pace of the game settle, let the lads get as many touches on the ball as they can, and then we open up a little bit more. And I think that's what we did today. After about 20 minutes, we reverted to our normal shape, give us an awful lot more width. We started exposing this little bit of space that was between those 2 lines centrally, and I think the first goal was a really good example of that. The width was there, we moved the ball really, really quickly, some really clever combination play, and we got Dan in at the back post, and he finished it really well. From that point on, we created lots of chances without taking them, but the way we were playing today, it takes a big toll on the opposition. It's very, very tiring to do, and I think you could see that primarily in the second half. All the good work we did in the first half really came through in the second half, and we should have scored an awful lot more goals today than we did.
Second goal early in the second half from Evan Durkin, that really set the tone for the remainder of the game. And like I said earlier on, Dia was unplayable in the middle of the park when he was on the ball. Little flicks and one-touch passes out into the sides, into the corners. And great to watch.
Yeah, it was great to watch. The start of the second half was a big plus, because the lads were speaking about it themselves at half time about having a quick start, no slow starts, and they went down, they started really quickly, and they got an opportunity and Evan took it. It's great. But I mean, Dia did run the show a lot there in the middle, and he was dropping into the space and getting on the ball, but some of the positioning the lads were taking between the lines was really helping that. Dan was taking up fantastic positions for the 60-65 minutes he was on. He was allowing that ball to be played into him, and then his link play with the other boys off, that was really exceptional. So I think lots of players were taking up good positions, which really helped Dia. but he's an outstanding footballer, and when he's on form like he was today, he's going to run the show, and we need to see that more often. We need to see him do that on a consistent basis for us, which to be fair he has done in the second half of the season, but it's 4 games to go now and a big one next weekend, and we need him to repeat that again.
And the other goals from Dia, Aaron with a little flick, and Nuji's header wrapped up the scoring. And
well, I think in particular the corner, I think we don't score many from set pieces, and that was really well worked, and it was a great finish by Aaron. It's great to see Adam get another goal. That's, we're working through his return to football. That's his 3rd game now, or 30 minutes, which is enough. He scored in the last 2, which is brilliant. Very important goal the last day to make sure we got that win. Came in really good 30 minutes again today. We move towards next weekend. Adam continues his rehab. Then he gets a little bit of a breather, which is great in the August bank holiday weekend. And then again we step it up for the second half of August. And hopefully by the time we get to 21's football, Adam will get an awful lot of that league campaign, and it'll be great for this group to have a really fit Adam Nugent back.
Indeed. And when you look at the clean sheet today, that's a second clean sheet in 3. Mm-hmm. And I know Manulla did have a snapshot in the first half that went wide on the near post, and Gary did pull off one fine save. But the clean sheet, I feel today, was more down to a midfield play rather than good defending.
Possibly, but to be fair to both Aaron and Killian Harrison and Mark, they've been playing particularly well most of the season. Aaron's a really good centre back, and the combination he has with Killian McGlade is quite good. We got a lot of forward play today from both Harrison and Mark, but I wouldn't underestimate the amount of hard work they did recovering back behind the ball. The big plus today that we probably didn't have in KK last week was the desire to win that ball back early enough, applying enough pressure. The boys really did that today. They worked incredibly hard to get that ball back quickly. I couldn't fault anybody. Even the lads came off the bench. Dylan Dewan brought a big impact into the game. Killian McGee brought a big impact into the game. And that's what we expect. We expect them to work incredibly hard without the ball. And as we spoke last week, we didn't get that, but we got that today. And we made a really difficult afternoon for Manulla. And we can be pleased with that, but we've got to repeat that again and again and again. And
another thing that's worth pointing out was there were 9 players unavailable today for various reasons. So I'm sure they'll be thinking to themselves now after today that they need to work hard to get back into the side.
Well, it's going to be difficult because we can only take 16 to 18 for next weekend's game. We had a really good squad of 15 today. There's not a player that came into that squad today that didn't perform. So we've got lads returning from holiday, we've got lads returning who were unavailable today, and we've got lads returning from suspension. It's going to be quite difficult to force their way into that squad. There's a mix of games this week which some lads are involved in, so there'll be some difficult calls between now and next weekend. But I challenged the boys before the game to, grab a spot in that squad for next weekend. Why hand it back to somebody else? If they're not there, you have an opportunity to take it. And to be fair, I don't think we can say those boys today didn't take it. So challenge on. Go back to training this week. It's going to be a really competitive week in preparation for the game next weekend, and there won't be any soft spots to be got in that squad now.
Well, looking forward to Ballihane. We do owe them one for that loss up to earlier on in the season, and equaliser that day was a contentious goal, as you may recall. So that should be an incentive for the lads to go out there and get 3 points.
Yeah, well, look, we don't have a great record against Ballihane in the last couple of seasons. We got a result away from home last year that beat us at home, so we're normally very effective from home. It's a game we really want to win because I think it can help us solidify our position in second place this year, which is important. We've worked really, really hard to get into that. We've won our last 4 or 5 games on the trot, so I expect a great game next weekend, and it's one I hope lots of people will come out and watch because there'll be a bit of interest. They've also recruited really well in this transfer window. 2 or 3 really good players come in, so it'll be a really good game.
Indeed. And not only we got the win here today, I believe the B team and development team all won.
I think it follows on from what we're saying. It puts the Bees back after what's been a difficult couple of weeks with the Cup. I think they performed really well in that Cup final, and probably Michael and the lads deserve an awful lot more than they got. They really probably didn't bounce back effectively last weekend in Kilmore, and I think there's been some harsh words said about that. But that was a good result today, a good performance. Pushes them back into third, as far as I understand. I couldn't speak highly enough of the development squad. The work they've put in the last couple of months has been fantastic. A difficult first half of the season, and everybody was asking what was going on. But the way they finished the season has been brilliant. Went there again today with 18 players, really really good squad of players, really young group of players, and to go to Anfield and win is not an easy thing. I don't think many teams have done that this season. So they, again, can be very proud of it. And that is it. That's 2 in the bounce.
It is actually, and I have to say, Father Mark Quinn, since becoming ordained, has certainly brought God's blessings upon the team.
Yeah, so divine intervention going on there, definitely. But it's great. It's great when you work as hard as that group does, and they train as hard as they do, and they've stuck at it, to see them get the results that they deserve now is great, and it justifies, I think, all of the commitment the boys have shown towards that development squad, and that it was a really justified decision to provide football for those lads, and we'll bear the benefit of that going forward.
And another game I need to mention here was Friday night, the women's team winning 7-0 against Crossmolina to get into a cup final, their first cup final since returning back into adult women's football. It was a great second half from them after being 0-0 at half time.
They were hugely impressive. I mean, I was looking at that, but it was in difficult conditions. It was a really difficult evening. We trained after them, but not only did they make light of the difficult conditions, the quality of the football that they played was really, really good. I enjoyed watching it, and it's something I encourage people to come out and watch the ladies. They're really good footballers, and they've had a really good first season back, and to finish that first season back with a cup final is fantastic. And we should be all trying to get out and support them in that cup final when it comes up shortly in August.
And that cup final is actually scheduled for 11:30 on Sunday, the 11th of August.
Oh, well, fantastic. I couldn't encourage people more to come out. It's really good football from a group of girls that are really committed to what they're doing, and wouldn't it be a great way to finish off their first season?
It certainly will. And they still have league games left, and they have another cup competition, and they can still win their division if they beat Killala at home and get results their way.
We're leading the way for the rest of us and showing the lads, to follow on that, the effort they've put in, and it's great. All Westport teams should be competing at the top of the table. We've worked incredibly hard the last couple of weeks to put a difficult spell behind us and put ourselves back into second. So it's great to see us, the bees, the ladies, all performing really, really well in the second half of the season.
And of course, the under-18s, they've got their league campaign up and running on Monday night with a win away to Ballinatown, and they're home to Claremorris tomorrow evening.
That won't be an easy fixture, but in fairness to Mike and them, they've put in their work, and they've a really talented squad of players, as do the bees, which was a disappointing result last Monday. We wouldn't have expected that, but expect both teams to perform quite well tomorrow, see the bees bounce back and see the A's continuing their good run.
Indeed. Thanks very much.
Thank you.